Hey, welcome to the Empowered and Free podcast. My name is Erin Kimbrell, and I'm a counselor, certified life coach, breathwork coach, and small town mom of two. I know firsthand what it feels like to live with high functioning anxiety. For most of my life, I had so much mental mess, anxiety, people pleasing, perfectionism, overthinking, constant worrying, and never feeling good enough. On my decade-long journey to feeling better, I've learned how to take back my life from high-functioning anxiety and helped others to do the same through my coaching and breathwork programs. Now I want to share everything I know with you. This podcast will help you feel empowered over your high-functioning anxiety and free to finally live the life of your dreams. Now, grab a cup of coffee, get comfy, and dive into the episode. I'm Erin Kimbrell, and this is the Empowered and Free podcast. Hey, friend. Today's episode is for my curious minds. It is for my skeptics. It is for my questioners. Again, this is me. I get it. But today we are going to talk about why Free from Anxiety is different than any other anxiety help out there. I can say that with confidence because I have looked into a lot of them. And I wanted to make sure that I did not create the same thing that you can find out there. I'm not going to be talking only about coping skills and mindset work and all that. And we'll get into that, right? But it was really important to me to create something that was different. And a big part of my story has been how to learn how to feel less anxious naturally with a holistic approach. And so that's what I'm going to talk about today. When I created Free from Anxiety, I wanted to share everything that I didn't learn in therapy. Yes, that's what I said. Didn't learn in therapy. None of this was gathered in therapy. Or things that I didn't learn when I went to school to even get my degree as a counselor. None of the things that really helped me on that deeper level of my anxiety are things that I learned there either, right? Kind of crazy. Because what do we do when we're feeling anxious? We go to therapy. We go see a counselor. Been there, done that. And no shade, no hate. You guys know I love therapists. I love counselors. I love mental health help. But there are so many pieces that are missing. And I've had so many women tell me over and over again, you can actually read their testimonials on my page, that they learn more with me in one session than they did in years of therapy. It just kind of blows my mind every time because you would think that this work is accessible out there, but it's really not. And it absolutely should be. Okay. And that is my purpose. That is my goal. That is my intention in this life, is to get this work out there to help people heal on this holistic level, to know there are so many other options outside of just putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. Free from Anxiety is a work of its own, and it's time for the world to know about it. So here are the 5 reasons why Free from Anxiety is different from any other anxiety help out there. Number 1, I talk about this. You probably heard me say this before, but number 1 is we get to the root cause of anxiety. I've said this before. This is the stuff that nobody else is teaching. You'll see people out there teaching one type of solution for anxiety. Again, I get a lot of ads for this stuff because I'm an anxiety coach. I'm always saying the word anxiety. So what's popping up for me? Ads for anxiety programs, courses, coaches, etc. And here's what I see is a lot of people teaching only one thing. So here are a few examples of what I mean. You'll see people teaching CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. This is your typical talk therapy, working with the mind, mindset work, journaling out your problems, reframing your thoughts. All good things, but it's not the only thing. Okay. You'll even see people teaching breath work. I'm a breath work coach myself. I love breath work, but it is not the only thing that helps anxiety. You'll see people teaching the neuroscience. Again, this is working with the brain, with the mind. You'll see people talking about how clean eating is the one way for you to feel less anxious. You'll see people talking about how emotional processing, learning how to process your feelings, is the one thing that helps anxiety. And I think all of those things are good things. In fact, all of those things are things that I do, but they're missing the point. There are so many solutions, in quote, out there on the internet. But the truth is, there is no other program I've seen on the market that combines it all. There's nothing else I've seen that helps you get to the root cause of your anxiety from a holistic perspective. So let me explain what I mean by that. Here's an example. I know I'm not the only one who's ever had a fever. We probably all had a fever at some point in our life. When I have a fever, I don't immediately just run to the medicine cabinet and grab the ibuprofen, right? Instead, I take a second. I'm like, I wonder what the problem is here. Do I have a virus? Do I have an infection? Is something else going on? Like, what's happening? And then from there, I go and I do the treatment. So what I don't want to do is just mask the fever immediately. Like I said, I don't just run and take the ibuprofen. I figure out what's going on first, because the fever is actually a symptom of a deeper problem. So I don't just want to treat the symptom. I want to figure out what's the problem. This, in a simplistic definition, is holistic care that is getting to the root cause of the problem. So when I took this same concept and I applied it to my mental health, it changed the game for me. Here's how this applies to anxiety. A lot of us who struggle with anxiety feel really uncomfortable anxiety symptoms. Maybe your heart races all the time. You have a lot of worries in your mind. You have a really heavy chest. Maybe you have some shakiness or like trembling. Maybe you can't sleep. The list could go on. We all have our anxiety symptoms. And because we don't want to feel that symptoms, and then we try to get some help, we're often given what? We're often given a quick fix, like a pill. Okay. But the problem is then all you're doing is masking the symptoms of anxiety, whether that's with meds, whether that's with CBD, drugs, alcohol, whatever it is, you're just masking it. You're just covering up the symptom. And when you cover up the symptom, you can't really figure out what's causing it. So inside of Free From Anxiety, that is one of the biggest things we do. We don't cover up your anxiety symptoms with a short-term solution. We get to the reason the anxiety is there. Remember, we are not treating the symptoms. We are treating the problem. What is the problem going on in your life? This is exactly what I help you do. Whether you take meds for anxiety or not, it's not about that. It's about getting to the cause of the problem, because when we do that, it changes everything else. So what is causing your anxiety? Inside of Free From Anxiety, I help you pinpoint exactly where your anxiety is coming from so you can deal with the root cause of the problem. And maybe you say, well, Erin, I know this thing is causing my anxiety, but from there, you don't know what to do. Some people have no idea what's causing their anxiety. Wherever you're at, that's what I help you do. That is holistic healing, and that is how you see long-term results, okay? So that's number one, how Free From Anxiety is different, is we get to the root cause of anxiety. The second way that Free From Anxiety is different is you get to build your own personalized toolbox, okay? This is a client favorite because it's customized exactly to them and they can come back to it time and time again. So again, what do I mean by toolbox? What does this really look like? Inside of Free From Anxiety, I teach you 4 different types of anxiety tools. If you're inside of Anxiety 101, you've already seen that. If you want to get a jump start on that, grab Anxiety 101 and you can see the 4 different types of tools. My 2 personal favorite types of tools are mindset tools and body-based tools or somatic tools. That's the same thing, okay? You learn how to work with your anxious brain, to rewire your brain, and to break that anxiety cycle. That is what mindset tools are used for. This includes things like neuroscience, CBT, and thought reframing. Those are just a few of the many mindset tools inside of Free From Anxiety. And those are great. I use those kind of things sometimes on a daily basis if I need to. But the real change for me started when I started using somatic tools. And these changes happened not only in myself, but also in my programs and in the results that women were getting when they were working with me. And I'm talking about body-based tools. Those are somatic tools, things like nervous system regulation, vagus nerve stimulation. Okay, I know these are big words. If you've never heard of them, I promise I will teach it all to you. Okay, breath work, tools that work with your body and also with your subconscious mind. I teach you the difference there. Our subconscious mind, long story short, runs the show. Okay, 95% of what we think comes from our subconscious mind, but it can be really hard to get to those thoughts. I will teach you how to do that inside of Free From Anxiety. I don't want you to get bogged down in the weeds right now. Just know that when you leave, you will have an entire personalized toolbox just for you that you can use in an anxious moment. Not only do I just talk about them and teach them, I have separate videos for each tool so that you can learn about them, but then you can also try them out for yourself. because we know that's when it makes the biggest difference. Change comes when you start implementing these things into your life, and that's what I help you do. I teach you all of this through my exclusive P&R method inside of Free From Anxiety. You may have heard me talk about the P&R method. You might already have Anxiety 101 and you've learned about the P&R method. I've gotten so much good feedback on the P&R method, and you'll learn all about it inside of Free From Anxiety. Okay, so that was number 2. The second reason why Free From Anxiety is different than anything else out there is you get your personalized toolbox that is just for you. All right, the third reason that Free From Anxiety is different is because I get it. I really get it. If you heard my story, you know that I lived with anxiety for over 30 years of my life. So every single thing that I've learned as a mental health professional, as a counselor, as a coach, and as a fellow anxiety struggler, everything is inside of Free From Anxiety. There's a reason that clients will tell me, like, you're in my head. How did you know that? How did you know I felt like that? It's because I have the same thoughts and feelings. Like, again, I lived that way for 30 years of my life. I understand an anxious brain like no one else. When I finally became a counselor and then a coach and found my way out of that, that is how I'm speaking from that place. I can speak to your exact struggles because I lived them too. I get it. It makes a huge difference. You want to be helped by someone who's been there, who's been in your shoes, and who knows how to feel better and can give you that step-by-step process. That is why Free From Anxiety is different, okay? Number 4, the fourth reason Free From Anxiety is different than anything else is because I'm going to believe in you like no one else. People know this, whether you know me in real life, whether you just know me because you've worked with me before, whether you know me in real life, or whether you know me because we've worked together, you know that I'm your biggest cheerleader, okay? I'm going to take your hand. I'm going to reach my hand out and take your hand and help you follow right along on the path to feeling better. My motto in the program, the clients can tell you, is that no one gets left behind, okay? I do every single thing in my power to make sure that you feel like you don't fail. For me, I know that's like one of my biggest fears personally, is feeling like I'm going to fail at something. And sometimes that has even held me back from trying in the first place. So I want to make sure that doesn't happen to you inside of my program, okay? I am the coach in your pocket. When you hit a rough patch, you get your phone, you reach out, you post in our community, and you get immediate feedback from me and from the other women that are inside of the program, okay? So I believe in you like no other. I promise I'm cheering you on in every single thing we do, and that is what makes it different. And then fifth and final reason that Free From Anxiety is different, I just mentioned it, which is our community, okay? Our community of women, I've said it before, is the best place to be on the internet. They know exactly what you're going through because they've been through it too, or they're currently going through it. These women will also become your closest friends. I have seen it happen in every single round of the program. We're going on year 4, 5, I'll have to count back, of the program. And every single time we do this, I see this happen. People have never met before, but it clicks. It is immediate because you get each other. And when life happens and you have that anxious moment, we're all there to lift you up, to encourage you, and to remind you to keep going, okay? The coolest thing to see is not only how we rally around somebody who's struggling, but also how we celebrate the heck out of you. When you win, it's like we've all won, right? We're all so excited. And this is why it's the most supportive community I've seen on the internet. Here are just a few of the testimonials from women in the Free From Anxiety community. Again, you can read about this on our page at erinkimbrell.com/free. Here are some things that women have said. I'm so glad I have you all to talk to and that you understand how I feel. You don't judge or make me feel awkward. Important, okay? Here's another one. I can't imagine not having y'all in my life. We've been through a lot together in the past few months. You guys are the friends who get me. Thank you. And here's one more. Man, we have all gone through such big life changes in the past few months. I know Erin always says everything in perfect timing, but I seriously cannot get over how perfect this group was for each of us. So that is the fifth and final reason that Free From Anxiety is different, because you have a community of people who are there, who care about you, who want to see you be successful, and are there to support you the whole way. Just those 5 reasons are scratching the surface of what makes Free From Anxiety different. Okay, I just hit some of the high points today. So let's recap what they are really quickly. Okay. Number one, Free From Anxiety helps you get to the root cause of your anxiety so that you can heal for good. Number two, in Free From Anxiety, you build your own personalized toolbox that's customized to you that you can come back to again and again and again in an anxious moment. Number three, I get it. I know what it's like to live with anxiety and high functioning anxiety for my entire life. So I know exactly how you feel and I know how to help you feel better. Number four is that I'm your biggest cheerleader and I'm going to hold your hand on this journey to make sure you're successful. And number five is that you'll find the closest friends that you could imagine inside of Free From Anxiety. These women get to know you sometimes better than you know yourself, okay? They're there to back you up, to encourage you, and to celebrate all your wins that you'll have inside of Free From Anxiety. The even better thing that I haven't mentioned yet is that once you're inside the community, you're in it for the life of Free From Anxiety, right? You don't lose the new friends that you've gained once our 4 months together is over. You can continue to be active in the program and join each new live round for as long as you'd like, okay? I'll say it again, but I've never seen anything else like it out there, okay? If you want to join us inside of Free From Anxiety, don't wait. This is the one and only time it's going to open for live enrollment this whole year in 2024. Right now, if you're listening to this on the day it airs, the pre-sale is still going on. The pre-sale happens through March 29th. And when you hop in during the pre-sale, you save a big chunk of change. So you get a really good discount when the pre-sale is happening. Make sure to jump in, sign up before it's too late. And even if you miss the pre-sale, definitely join. It will be worth every single penny and more. I can say that with all my heart. Everything you need to know, including the words of women who have been through the program, all of that is on the page at erinkimbrell.com/free. Go check it out today, friends. Thank you so much for listening. I would love to see you inside the program, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye, guys. Hey, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. You don't know how much it means to me. If you'd like more behind-the-scenes content, inspiration, and daily reminders that encourage and uplift you, follow me on Instagram at @HeyErinKimbrell and send me a DM to say hey. If any of the episodes have been super helpful for you, please consider leaving me a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you like to listen. It helps me so incredibly much, and it allows the podcast to be seen by other people who need it. If you want to learn more from me, head to erinkimbrell.com. That's where you'll find all my free resources, read the podcast show notes, and learn more information about my online coaching and breathwork programs that help you create the life you want. If you want to keep the conversation going from today's episode, join us in our exclusive podcast Facebook community, Empowered and Free, Help for High Functioning Anxiety. I'm here for you, and I'm always cheering you on. I'll see you next time. I'm Erin Kimbrell, and this is the Empowered and Free podcast.